Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading and welcome to my channel. So this reading it's about, well, it's going to be released in the month of April, but it's timeless. So whenever you feel the pull to stop by and hear what this video has to say, this reading is for you. So I don't necessarily focus on any type of astrological views as far as, whether if it's your rising or your moon. This is more about synchronicity, using the law of attraction. Now, keep in mind that it's an overall reading. So there are things that are going to resonate with you and there are things that are not. I would encourage you to be very selective about the things you're going to choose to take in. Because the idea is to hear some options or other options that can assist you to change your point of view and resolve any issues or challenges that you may be feeling in the moment. Okay? So it's not necessarily about taking in something that it doesn't belong to your story. And one of the things about this, and this is important, Capricorn, when we are too much in our heads trying to resolve a problem, we get confused. And emotionally, we get, like divided. We get separated. We get fragmented. And from that point of view, or that state of being, it's very easy to hear stuff that are not necessarily the right stuff. So be very mindful and very selective about the stuff you're going to take in, because the purpose here is to find solutions or find options that can help you overcome your challenges. All right? So I'm clarifying that because in your head you have an Eight of Swords, and the energy around you is also Swords, Ten of Swords. So I'm picking up some Capricorns here that are feeling quite confused in this cycle. So let's work this through in a way that by the time you're done listening to the reading, you feel better about yourself. Okay? So the overall energy of this cycle is a Six of Rods, which tells me that you're in one of those moments where you feel like it's your turn and it's your time to succeed. It's like, you want to be able to overcome challenges where you feel good about yourself and you release a lot of this tension or aggravations that you're feeling. Because somehow, some of you may feel like you're stuck in the mud. And when we're stuck in the mud, it's like being stuck in a swamp. The more we make head waves of trying to get out, and we fuss and we struggle to get out, it gets worse, right? We get muddier. So the thing is about being able to relax and trust ourselves enough, and our inner guidance especially. Can we trust our inner guidance to pay attention when it tells us that it's time to move, without needing to work it out, analyzing the situation more than we need to. Because I feel like, when we're trying to strategize, if we get too logical, it can actually get you off balance. And that can create confusion, and that can make you feel like you have mixed emotions about the choices you're going to make. So now your energy is divided, and your ability to perceive reality gets distorted. So we need to get in one of those modes, Capricorn, where we finally have to figure out the formula. What is the formula that I can use, especially in those moments where I'm unclear about the choice that I need to make? Because it's not necessarily about what other people are doing or what other people are going to do or the expectations of those people. It's more about you. How can you be in peace with yourself, with the choices that you're making. Because a lot of times we can say, you know, I made this choice, or I'm going to do that. But over time, the result of that choice is feeling agitated, because somehow there is a voice within ourselves that is questioning that choice, or is making us feel insecure about that choice, right? So what choice can I make that all the voices within myself are quiet enough to make me feel good about the choice that I made? Because I see you here in the heart of the reading with the King of Swords. So you want to succeed, and you're trying to create some sort of strategy that will allow you to make a choice that long term, hopefully long term, that choice would be the right one. Especially in this particular situations that you're having that is related to relationships. 6 in the major arcanas is the Lovers. So we want to succeed in whatever that is, right? If it's a connection or if it's a relationship. But remember, we first have to succeed with being in peace with the choices that we're making and how we're feeling about those choices. Because a lot of times, again, we can make a choice that later we feel agitated, but that's because we have not reconciled our own personal emotions, our inner reality. So it's interesting because when we look at the colors of these cards, right, and the symbology, it's like, you know, I'm sort of picking up out of this card is that, you know, like, I want to succeed by having the people around me be in the same page or agreeing with the choice that I've made. How can I take a step or do something where other people around me are feeling good about my choice, and I'm getting that level of support, right? Because a lot of times, you know, you can make a choice and you know that it's the right choice for you, but for other people, it's like a problem, because those people are used to getting from you what they desire, even if it doesn't make you feel good, right? So you're getting to that point where you know that if you're not making a choice that is for your highest good, and then you're not happy. And if you're not happy, what's the point of trying to please other people? Because we know that ultimately, the more you give, the less you receive, correct? So I feel like there's someone here with the Queen of Rods in the near future. This person here somehow is pulling this 9 of Pentacles and this Wheel of Fortune. So somebody that you already know, Capricorn, is going to come in and is going to give you a push, or is going to assist you through a conversation to get out of this Swords. This person, again, for some of you, might be somebody that you already met. For others of you, it could be someone new that you may attract. But I'm sensing more that this is someone that you already know. Someone that somehow has the capabilities or the wisdom, for all that matter, to sit down with you and have a conversation where you feel comfortable enough to have an exchange, and that person tell you, oh, come on, you got this. Don't overthink it. You know, the medicine, I mean, to make it direct and straight to the point, Capricorn, the medicine that is being provided in this reading for this cycle so that you can resolve your challenges is communication. It's Mercury. Okay? So you can resolve whatever challenges you're having right now by talking and saying what you need to say. Of course, in the way that you say it, it's going to be really important, because it's not just about me vomiting and saying what I need to say because I need to make a point. It's also about what are going to be the consequences of that communication? Because my delivery is just as important as the things I'm going to communicate. I know people sometimes where they say, I'm tired of holding back. I'm tired of keeping to myself the things that I'm feeling, and I'm just going to let it out. And it's kind of like giving yourself permission to be honest with other people. But again, I feel like when we get to that point, of course, there's a certain level of frustration because it's basically saying that I've held back for many years. And now I'm at a point where I'm so frustrated that I need to do the opposite. But we don't ask ourselves, well, why did I hold back? What made me hold back from telling my piece or my truth? Nobody forced you to hold back. So again, it's this concept of balance, right? What is the middle ground? How can we find the middle ground in a situation where we're creating the perfect balance between what's out and what's in? What we're suppressing and what we're expressing, right? So it's all about finding that middle ground. So if you held back before because for whatever reason you made yourself believe that you needed to, instead of speaking out, what made you do that? So those are the things that we need to reflect upon. What held you back? Now, right now, you may be feeling like you need to do the opposite, but if your delivery comes from a place of resentment or frustrations from holding back for so long, and then what are the consequences of that expression? Do you feel that you're going to get somewhere? Do you feel that by directing all that anger outwardly towards the other people is going to get you what you want? Because this is one of the things that I've learned recently about myself. And it has a lot to do with boundaries. Okay, so what are my boundaries? What are, and to know your boundaries, you have to also know your limitations. What are the things that I am willing to negotiate and feel comfortable with, and what are the things that is just beyond my comfort zone, and it will get me to react in a way that ultimately I know it's not going to help me. So here's where, knowing yourself, knowing thyself is really important, because it's about knowing your own energy, your power, and how you work with that power. And here's where we're constantly being reminded that we're going through a time of major transformation in the consciousness of our collective. So whatever challenges you're having right now, rest assured that are similar challenges that your soul had or went through in other timelines with a different body. And your opportunity right now is to address that challenge and to be able to fix it. But remember, it's a situation that is emotionally loaded, because you in your DNA have all the information of when your soul in other timelines had similar issues and was not able to resolve it. So when you're here trying to resolve this, all of the emotions that come up for you are not just about now or whatever has happened to you before in this particular incarnation. It's also tied to all of the other times when your soul had similar situations. So when I mean it's a loaded emotions, it's loaded with a lot of insight, I mean that. The question is, do you know that? Can you recognize that? The other suggestion that is really helpful when we're feeling this intensity, emotional intensity in our challenges, is to remind ourselves that we are soul. We're a soul in a physical body, exploring this reality. Can you take that in, Capricorn? We're a soul. You're a soul. And from a soul perspective, this is an experience that allows your soul to play around with different frequencies. You call them ideas that are important to you, that are related to your goals, your dreams, your desires. But the soul sees it as, ooh, I'm playing around here with energy. And I get to manipulate them in a way that I can create all of these experiences that for an instant gives me another perspective of what source energy is about. What is source doing through me, in me, right? Because we're expanding the universal mind. So soul sees it as fun. What a wonderful opportunity to feel independent and to explore and create. So your life story is basically the masterpiece that you're creating. It's the biggest byproduct of all the choices that you've made. What a wonderful opportunity while you're here all frustrated trying to figure out how to resolve an issue. And again, it's all a matter of giving yourself the time and the opportunity to feel relaxed enough, create that type of environment that allows you to have the clarity to choose something that, ultimately you get to see the results. And if the results are not compatible to the idea you had in your head, do it again. And you do it as many times as you need to until you get it right. And that's why we came here. Unfortunately, we forget that, because the rules of the game in this physical plane are not necessarily in alignment with the rules of the game as far as your soul goes. So we tend to get very caught up with all of these bubbles of structures that from a physical perspective we've created from the time that we're born into this physical plane, and it's all based on an illusion. Now, getting away from that perspective, I see you here that there's a lot of confusion, but a lot of this confusion is because you're trying to work with other people that don't see things the way you do. And the question is, how do I find that middle ground between complying with what other people want to the things that I really want? Now, I see the Star card. There's 3 major arcanas in this reading. Excuse me. I have the Star card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Empress at the end. Now, this Queen of Rods here is coming with the Wheel of Fortune. So it's going to assist you to make this change and release this source. And I believe that this source have a lot to do with this Empress and the end of the reading. Someone who you felt that could have been a wish come true, but something went wrong, something went south. And I believe is that, this particular Empress might have made a choice in the past that you felt that she was not supporting you, or she was not really valuing your insights or what you had to offer. And that put you in this place of needing to let go of this situation, moving on, and seeking other options. But now you're kind of in this place where you feel like, it's time for me to make a good choice. And you're trying to work it out, but somehow you're overthinking it. And I feel like a lot of it has to do because of this source, right? So we have 8 source, 9 source with the King of Wands. That's the Hermit. So, you know, you probably spend some time on your own trying to figure this stuff out. But ultimately, what you want to do is to get to the Wheel of Fortune, is to make a change that feels right and correct for you, because you want to succeed. So that's why you're juggling here. You know, with the Two of Pentacles, it's like, you know, what do I do? How should I do this? How should I address this? And there's a lot of back and forth, but that's because, once again, you are holding back. You're thinking way too much about what to do, and you're not paying attention to your feelings. And no wonder there's this stuck in the mud card here. It's like too much water in your actions. Although, I mean, it's funny because you don't have the cups out here to show it, but you have the swords. You have like 21 swords here in this reading. So I wonder if you're dealing with an air sign. But again, this is all about changes. And Capricorn, you're a child of Saturn. Okay, so your sign is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, it's, you know, it's all about habits. Saturn is the son of, it's the son of the sun. It's the child of the sun. But Saturn and the sun got into a fight, and the sun cast him out, and in the fall Saturn broke his leg. So now Saturn limps. What does that mean? Well, that whoever is under the influence of Saturn, things that they really want in their lives, it's going to take more time. So it's going to be delay. That's to begin with. Of course, you have the influence of other planets that can help with that. But yeah, Saturn children have a tendency to struggle with achieving their goals in a timely manner, because it's like it takes you time to achieve the change that you desire, because you know you're children of habit. And habit is not a bad thing, as long as you're not continuing to do the same thing for the sake of doing it. I mean, if you know that you're doing a habit and that habit is, you know, it's not good for you, and then that's a problem, right? That's a devil energy. But I feel like there are too many emotions that is getting in your clarity, and it's not allowing you to make the proper choice. So that's why you're stuck in the mud. But the medicine here that is being provided is, well, you need a little bit of encouragement. And the person who's going to bring that is this Queen of Rods here. Again, that's just how the person is coming through. I mean, this could be a man, right? A man with the knowledge of knowing how to deliver a message that you're going to feel empowered enough to say, okay, I'm releasing this source, I'm releasing all this mental confusion, and I'm making a choice. And I feel that it has a lot to do with this Empress over here, with this person that is coming back, if it hasn't come back yet, where it's going to want to talk to you and be able to resolve whatever differences we're creating from before and make peace. That does not mean that you have to take that person back. And that's the thing. If you're trying to make a decision prior to the situation without honoring your feelings, again, that's what gets you into an Eight of Swords. We have this tendency of over preparing ourselves. I need to think about this, and I need to be ready just in case. But a lot of times we change our point of views when we're in the middle of the situation, because our body is feeling different frequencies or different emotions once the situation is happening in the present moment. And we need to honor that. You know, if you come in trying to resolve a problem with all of this baggage of whatever you're carrying from whatever happened to you with that person before, plus whatever you're bringing, not just from this moment or this situation or this whatever well, give me a second, how do I use the proper words to describe this? Of of all the memories that you've accumulated with this person during this time in this relationship, plus emotionally connecting to all the emotional memories of other incarnations. Can you imagine what it's going to feel like while you're trying to resolve this issue? It's not going to feel very good. It's too much. So another thing that it will help you a lot, Capricorn, is to remember that we're going through a major healing crisis. Our collective is going through a major healing crisis. What does that mean? That we are right now moving through a major transformation and a major evolution in our species. And part of this evolution is that we need to heal traumas from the past. So that's another perspective that we need to keep in mind, especially in those moments where we're feeling stuck in the mud. Is that we're healing all the choices that we've made in the past that have created disharmony. So you have the opportunity right now to fix them. Why? Because we have a lot of information available to us that will allow us to reconcile these differences. So it's just a matter of you finding the right information. But you need to feel it, and you need to decide that if your feelings, your guiding system is in alignment with the idea that you're choosing. It's just a habit. Does my ideas, how do they feel? Is my guiding system, my feeling, are okay with those ideas? If they're not, you need to continue to look until you feel good. It's just a process that we have to create habits that will allow us to get out from this mental energy, and then all of these sorts, which again, I'm feeling that this is not all yours. This has a lot to do with this person that you're dealing with. So I'm going to clarify it here. I'm going to clarify the Empress energy. What is this Empress wants? Or what is this Empress feeling towards Capricorn? So show me the Empress energy. What is the Empress wants with Capricorn? Show me the Empress energy. See, they want to definitely get in the same page. So we have a Four of Wands. Four of Wands. This person wants to make peace. See all these wands? Somebody who's definitely getting to a point where they're like, okay, it's time to make it right. Because this person is not really happy about what happened between the two of you. And it could be feeling, this Empress is feeling like, you know what, that was not right. Yeah, there goes the Magician. So this person wants to have a conversation and wants to make peace. We have 9 here. So it's like this Empress needed time by herself to figure things out. She needed to get it right with herself. You're here overthinking the situation with Swords, and this person is about, well, is this really what I need? Is this really what I want? whatever was happening between the two of you, it forced this Empress to go on her own, probably in the hermit mode because of the 9 here, and determine whether this was the right thing, whether whatever option you were offering was the right thing. So you might have suggested to this Empress an initiative, like, you know, what you need to do is this, and this person, you know, couldn't take the pressure. It was just too much, and they needed to go on their own and figure themselves out. And now they're coming back and they're saying, you know what, you were not all that wrong. You see, they come with the Sun. You were really not that wrong. So let's clarify the 9 of Cups. Because they're bringing a 9 of Cups, they're bringing you flowers. Well, they're thinking about it. Right now, I feel like they're thinking about it. So the challenge here, you know, we see this 8 of Swords. This 8 of, I don't know why I said Swords. 8 of Swords is in that top. So we have 2 8s here, which is the Strength card. So we have the 8 of Wands there. So that's kind of like the advice. You know, communication. Again, it's coming out twice. It's like if you guys would have a conversation, all of these things would settle down. I mean, it would just make it easier. The question is whether, Capricorn, you want to have this conversation, because I feel like you may not. Not with all of this overthinking here. And this person is thinking about it, and they're kind of in that place where, you know, they made peace. But you have not. So you're projecting all of that energy, which makes this person holds back because they can feel it. So the Moon is upside down. King of Pentacles fell off the floor. I feel like they may be they may feel like you don't want this. Like you may just not interested. Like you may not be wanting to work on this any longer. So they're afraid that you may just not want to work this out. Let me just see how you're feeling about this. How does Capricorn feels about this Empress? Show me. How does Capricorn feels about this Empress? Okay, not sure. The Tower upside down. Yeah, you're very unsure, Capricorn. You're not very clear. It's like, I feel like you're very resistant to really talk with this person. With the Tower upside down, it's like, yeah, you're not ready. Strength card, you're not even sure. Yeah, there's still a lot of resistance here. Okay. So, you know, Capricorn, you're just going to have to make amends. If you notice, there's this card underneath this King of Swords, and it's called the Master. And this card is basically saying is that your emotions here are telling you something that you can't deny. But somehow you're just refusing to see it. It's like, you know, you just are too much in your head. Now, you're bringing the code 15 twice. And the message of that code is that you will have victory over your enemies. You will eventually gain control over the difficulties. and you will have the success that you want in your home environment, in your relationships. But it's just a matter of you relaxing a little bit more, trusting yourself, but also trusting your feelings. I feel like, you know, you're just resisting your feelings. It's like your heart is telling you something, right? It's telling something to the King of Swords, but you're only hearing what you want to see. The star is guiding you, but you're resisting here the guidance of the star. And again, you know, I'm going to close with this knowing communication is the medicine that is going to heal this situation. It's just a matter how you decide to deliver it. So this is not about you forcing yourself to do something that you're not ready, but just know that talking about it in a way that, you know, you can express how you're feeling humbly, you know, with compassion, and compassion for the other person can actually heal this situation. And I think this person is going to help you have better idea or give you the encouragement that you need. All right, Capricorn, thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck. Until next time.